I can say these are great first. Like I was on these first, or I knew these were terrible. That, like that doesn't matter, and that's just more of like childhood trauma coming up that you probably need to resolve.
All
You
the
know,
trauma.
that's a deeper conversation that this podcast is not prepared to get into. We don't have the licenses
We are not medical professionals.
or the knowledge. We are not medical professionals, but it sounds like some childhood trauma of you wanting to be first and getting a ticket.
All right, hello and welcome to episode 33 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, he's back in the building. Everybody, it's Jacques
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Slade.
What up? What up? What up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. We've got some good stuff for you this week. I went on a trip thanks to some very kind benefactors, and I got to see a couple of things, and I can't wait to share with you guys. So it was pretty awesome. It's good. It's gonna be a good episode. You guys got some good stuff to talk about this week.
Yes, and by benefactors, he means billion-dollar corporations who gladly support Jacques Slade in all of his endeavors and take him to places around the world so he can go gallivanting, as the joke goes. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was doing gallivanting, but I paid for it with my own money.
Yeah,
Jacques
that's the
Slade, he
ultimate
is.
gallivanting. Ultimate gallivanting when you can
I don't know
afford it,
about
when you
that.
can just
I
do it,
don't know
when you can
about
pay
that.
for it yourself.
I
Just
don't know about that.
gallivanting around the world.
No, no, no.
I was benefactors reached out and was like, we know how broke you are, so we're gonna offer
No,
you
no,
things because
no.
we know
That
you don't have them.
they know they appreciate what you do. They appreciate your contributions to the community, and that's why they pick you. Meanwhile, me, I have to work hard and earn some money and save up to actually pull off a trip such as that.
Oh,
Meanwhile, you,
okay.
they just give you a call and they're like, "Hey, Jacques Slade, we love you. We want to do, we
We
don't do
love you.
right by you. We love you.
We
We want
love
you to.
you.
Would you like to go to
Wow.
Augusta National?"
Wow. We love you is a stretch. Um, yeah. We love you
Uh,
is definitely a stretch. I don't know if those are the proper words to use.
well, anyways, let's start with the first leg of your trip, your golfing excursion. You were at Augusta National last week for the Masters, and
Yes,
you had quite a time there, I would imagine.
I did. I did. It was so this is the third time that I've actually gone to Augusta. Um, all three times have been honestly, all three times have been courtesy of Nike. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Shout out to Nike. They know I love golf. And
I
so
love golf
they
too,
have some
Jacques, but they never invite me.
so they had some extra tickets. Um, and so this time though the weather was nice,
Hmm.
which has been a dramatic difference from the last two times I've gone. So
Right.
I don't know if we've talked about this before, but the first time I went, it was pouring raining. And I
Yes.
had to wear like Nike had to give us these giant ponchos because it was on a practice day, and we had these giant ponchos we walked around in the
Right.
pouring rain just because it was so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, but you know, it was the experience. Second time, it wasn't pouring raining, but it was raining, but it was also very cold.
Mm.
So like that part kind of ruined the experience a little bit. But this time, the weather was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was like the best weather. I mean, it was perfect golfing weather. Like just a little warm, a little air blowing every once in a while, so you got a little chill. It was basically like hoodie weather. So it was like the
Right.
perfect hoodie weather, where it didn't get too hot, and it didn't get too cold. And first day, Friday, I walked around and kind of looked at everything and kind of enjoyed the sights. But then on Saturday, I just sat at the 15-16 in the grandstand at 15-16. So I just
Uh
camped
huh.
there all day long.
Mm.
And it was the right choice. It was the right choice.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried. I was like, man, am I really going to miss everything else going on? But camping out there was the right decision for sure.
Well, I mean, that stretch from 15 to 16 is probably like one of the best like spots you can probably be, you'd be situated at because there's a lot of action happens between 15 and 16. A lot of things
Yeah.
can go either really well or really badly between 15 and 16. So,
Yes.
but yeah, no,
Yes.
I am very happy for you that you got to go. And I will cop to a failure on my part. You tried to call me
Yes.
once again at
Yes.
the which I have on my phone. It says the Augusta National Courtesy Phone, because for people who do not know, when you go there to watch the Masters, you have to surrender your phone, right?
Yes. Yep.
You are not able to do that. So as you walk around the course, you don't have really any way to contact anybody on the outside world except these phone booths. Where are they specifically? Are they by the clubhouse
So
or are they by?
there's a couple of them. There's some inside, and then there's one that's just outside the gate. The one that I've called you from the last two times is the one that's outside the gate, um,
Okay.
on the way to like pick up my phone. So they're like
Okay.
they have a check-in station, I guess you would call like almost like a coat check, but for your phone.
Sure. Sure.
So
Yeah.
they have one of those, and right next to that is a courtesy phone. So while I'm standing in line to go pick up my phone, I usually like, oh, let me call Juan. Or right, actually, no, it's right after I pick up my phone because I don't have your number memorized, so I need my phone to see your phone
Right.
number, to see your phone number, and then I'll get my phone and then I'll call you.
Yeah.
And this is the second time I've called you. For those that don't follow a lot of golf, Juan and I are big golf fans, and the Masters is like one of the like holy grails when it comes to golf courses, especially when it comes to the
Yep.
PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we have an affinity for it or anything sort of attached to it. And because, Juan wasn't there, I took the initiative twice to call him from the courtesy phone as almost like, hey, here's a little taste of Augusta. Here is, because you can't be here, I want you to hear the sounds and like hear the birds chirping and the crowd as they walk through security, all those sorts of things. I try to give Juan that experience as as friends do for each other kind of thing. And both times that I have called, Juan sent me the voicemail. So um, I think that's the last. If I do get the chance to go to Masters again, I'm not sure that I'll call him again. I think, fool me once, shame on me. Uh, Fool me twice, shame on,
All right, George Bush.
shame on. Yeah. um, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure that I'll call him again. You guys let me know. Should I call him again, even though he sent me the voicemail twice? And then the second time, he actually asked me to call him. And not only did he ask me to call him, he was like, I know you're going to call, so I'm going to be prepared. But instead, I ended up leaving a voicemail. So that's
So
that experience.
yes, and I will yeah, no, you're right. That was a bad on my part. The first time, that was totally fair. I think you would agree that it was fair that I did not answer the first
Yes.
time because I did not
Yes.
know that you were gonna call. What? Did you
I
not?
agree.
Yeah, yeah. So the first time, it went straight to voicemail, and I was just shocked. I was like, Who is this?" And it's from Georgia, and it just said, Georgia. And I'm like listening to the voicemail. I'm like, "Oh, it's Jacques." I'm like, "Oh man, he called from Augusta, and he get to pick up." And I feel bad. So the second time we talked about it, and I said I would be ready. I'm gonna leave my phone open. I keep my phone silenced for like numbers that I don't recognize, the phone doesn't recognize, and
Hmm.
all that stuff. So I was ready. I was ready. Unfortunately, when you called, so there was stuff going on. My brother and I, we were here at the house. It was during lunchtime, and my phone, because my phone was charging upstairs, I'd forgotten to bring it down, and we were downstairs laughing our ass off watching people open F1 trading cards on the internet because we bought like
Mm.
these spots, yes, and we were like cheering because we got like stuff that we wanted to get. and I had forgotten about that you were gonna call. And then when I checked my phone, I was like, oh no. Um, I dang. I will say though, the cards are pretty cool. I'll show them when I get them. But no, it wasn't worth missing out on the Augusta National courtesy phone call.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's cool. You know what I mean? Like I'm not mad. You know, it's not like I'm angry. Um, I
Are you just
just
gonna say you're disappointed? Are you gonna say you're
no,
disappointed?
I'm not disappointed. I get it. I get it. You had more important things to do than to answer
You
my
was-
call, and that's fine. That's fine.
you,
Now,
there is
now I know. Now I know.
the sound of your voice when you left that message was so funny. You were so bummed. You're so disappointed. You're like, you did it again. I cannot believe you. You.
Yeah, yeah. In the
Ah.
moment, there was disappointment, but you know, what? As I got over it, I got over it, and then people that are
Oh
listening,
no, 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 no! You're gonna bring this up.
on top of that, so I did something illegal at Augusta
Uh,
in order to, you know, again, show my friend some options. I won't say exactly what I did, but I did some things to give him a visual look at some things that most people don't have a visual look at before. And was like, hey, let me know because when I go in tomorrow, I won't have my phone. So I need you to let me know before tomorrow. So he had a good 12 to 16 hours, I'm going to say. And he didn't respond. Again, almost like he left me on red in a sense. So,
no,
like,
no,
this is what you
no.
call lesson learned. This is a prime example of, oh, lesson learned. So it's cool. It's cool. I, being the friend that I am, took it upon myself to be like, you know what? I'm still going to get him something. And I did that. So hopefully he likes it, but we'll just have to see.
There's one way we can resolve this, Jacques, is the next time your benefactors give you a call, you just give me your ticket.
I just give you my ticket
Yes, yes, that's how this
so that
gets
you
resolved.
can go.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
And
Okay.
so I can call you from the Augusta National courtesy phone. So I can do the
Hmm.
illegal thing to provide you with stuff. And yeah, I think that's just the only
Okay.
way that this gets resolved is that's how we become even. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Is
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Next time I go.
How do I know that you'll even be
You know what?
available
I,
or that you'll go?
I'll go.
Oh
If I
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
somebody
Like you, just like you said, you'll answer the phone. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if somebody if a mysterious benefactor were to get in touch with me and say, Juan, we want you to go to Augusta National, I'll be there yesterday. I will be there by the gate.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's how that works. Is yes, I will be there.
oh. So I get it.
Uh,
I get it. I wasn't
yeah.
important enough for you to tend to. I got it. No, that's cool. That's good. I mean, again, I just this just registers with me where our like relationship is, and which is fine. Again, it's fine. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm
Say
not
it. You want to say the word, don't
disappointed.
you? No, no. You wanted to say it. You wanted to say it.
No, I'm just it's fine. It's cool. Nah, it's cool though. It's cool. I get it. I get it. To be honest, I
uh,
get it. I don't get the part about the buying things part, but the other part, the phone call, I get. I don't. The other, the buying things part, I was like, really, like really, really, dog. Like of all people, this is how. Okay, all right, got you. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. What's next on the show?
Yes, next on the show is that was the first part of your excursion, your gallivanting
Oh,
around
yes,
the
yes,
golf things. The second part of that is that you were at Grove 23 to check out Jordan Brand's golf stuff preview, whatever you want to call it, I guess, is that they
yeah,
had a preview event for their upcoming slate of golf apparel and also shoes.
yeah, yeah. So Jordan Brand is back in golf. It's going to be called Jordan Golf. Um, and they're
Creative.
relaunching. So they've been in the space before,
Yeah.
um, but with like really basic pieces. And this time they're trying to add a more of a like streetwear sort of
Hmm.
feel to what they're doing, or like a more
Hmm.
stylish take on golf gear, which
Right.
is needed in the space. There's obviously a ton of people doing it already. And so they're kind of throwing their hat into the ring. I think they have a really great opportunity because of like the back catalog and what they can do with retro product and what they can do with like the sportswear angle and adding performance elements to all of that stuff. So they
Hmm.
have an opportunity really to grow there. But they held it at Grove 23, which is actually under renovation at the moment. So we didn't get to actually play at the Grove. We got to hit some balls in the practice area, but we didn't actually get to play the course. Um, it's really nice though. The clubhouse is really nice. Everyone there is super nice. It's a beautiful clubhouse. Like obviously it has a big Grove 23 on the front and it has elephant print. But the strange, I don't want to say it's strange, but the unique thing about it is there's not a lot of Jumpman branding around the clubhouse.
At Grove
So
23.
at Grove
Mm.
23,
Okay.
the even in the pro shop, there's
Hmm.
very little Jumpman merch. There's the shoes,
Sure.
but everything else has either the Grove XXIII logo, like the word mark,
Right.
or it
Right.
has the Black Panther, I mean the Black Cat logo. There
Yes.
is there's So it's really like this is like Jordan's place, not like the Jordan brand place kind of
Hmm.
thing, which is
Hmm.
cool. It's almost like you're seeing a different side of Jordan through the golf lens, and
Right.
it doesn't involve like the basketball version of him, which
Hmm.
is pretty unique. It's very like a Jordan the man kind of place, which is very unique. You don't really see that spaces like that, especially when it's around him. It's always kind of tied to Jumpman or Jordan Brand, but
Right.
this is more tied to him and his golf aspirations. They also launched the Rev, which is a new golf shoe that has like zoom externally. It's the first Nike and I believe Nike and Jordan golf shoe that uses air externally on the upper, which
Hmm.
is and I can't confirm this. I need to go like do a deep research on that to see if there was something that I'm just not thinking of. But
Sure.
I believe it's the first time that they've used air like on the upper of a shoe, and it's supposed to help you with like your weight shift and where your foot is in space. We
Right.
didn't get to try them
Hmm.
on. They're supposed to be on. They're on their way over. They said they're going to send us some pairs, but it's pretty unique. Although I believe they're priced a little too high. They're at $250, which is in golf is like the most premium of golf shoes are usually like
Yes.
250, two fifty
Hmm.
five
Hmm.
maybe,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
everything else is in that 200 to like 220 range. I feel
Right.
like these should have been in that 222 to 220 range, but they're pricing
Hmm.
them at 250, so we'll see how like the community responds to that. I just think it's too expensive to be fair.
Are they positioning that particular shoe as like the peak, their top of the line model, or is that is because like you said they're pricing it at 250? So maybe is there? Do you think there's even room for like another higher level golf shoe that Jordan Brand could release, or do you think like this is the it shoe at the moment?
I think this is the issue of the moment, but
Okay,
it's it's dressed like an athletic shoe. And in
which I
golf,
guess makes sense. Yeah, for
yeah, in
for
golf
Jordan and Nike.
though,
Yeah.
yeah, for Jordan and Nike. For golf though, like the premium shoes at that high price point are usually like saddle shoes.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
they're and this is obviously this looks more like a running shoe. Now, it's funny. A lot of the comments were saying that it looks like a CP3, which if you think about it, it's
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, actually it does
I can
kind of
see
look
that
like a
with the strap.
CP3.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, it does look like a CP3. So that's where a lot of the and so like, CP3s were 120. You create a golf shoe that
Hmm.
looks like a CP3, people are,
It's
the
gonna open it up to
people
those
aren't
kinds of, yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it seems cool. I want to try it on just to see like where the tech really lies, and if it's
Hmm.
as true as their trainers. It was actually developed by one of the trainers at Grove 23 that works with a lot of the pro athletes. He helped develop the shoe with like Gentry and the Jordan Brand team, and I think
Okay.
Michael Plum is the chief designer. And yeah, it looks cool. If it does what they say it does, that'll be even cooler. But I am afraid of that price point. I don't know if people are going to buy into that at 250.
At 250, right? Especially since Jordan Retros golf shoes are kind of in that same range, just a little bit below, right? They're like in the
Hmm
200, 220s. The other golf shoe that I noticed that you posted on your socials was the 14, the Jordan 14. Is that the first time they're putting the
Yeah.
14 out as a golf shoe? Which I hadn't thought
No,
about. I
it's
was like,
the
oh, is that the second time?
yeah, it's the second time. And it was surprisingly comfortable. I don't have the original one that they
Oh,
launched. They
okay.
launched one earlier this year.
Mm.
Um, but this one, when I saw it, I mean, it's weird because like it looks good as a golf shoe.
Yeah.
Some
Hmm.
shoes it's more of like just like the nostalgia factor of like, oh yeah, look cool. They made a golf shoe out of the ones, or they made a golf shoe out of the threes. Like they don't really look like golf shoes. But for some
Hmm.
reason, to me, the 14 fits that mold. It doesn't.
Right.
It feels pretty authentic to the golf space. It has a hard bottom, has cleated spikes. It's not just integrated traction. So they're treating it like a
Hmm.
full-on performance golf shoe, and it feels right in line with what you would expect from like an athletic shoe that's a golf shoe. So I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not really typically super excited about Jordan golf shoes that are retros because they're often, especially when it comes to the ones, just because they don't really measure up on the performance side. But
Right.
these stick it. They stick it. They stuck the landing. So I mean, I'm happy that I got myself a pair. I'm gonna hopefully get them on the course within the next week or so to really try them out.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, no, I mean there are certain golf shoes like Jordan retros that definitely fit. I've always talked about like my disdain for the 13s, but as golf shoes, I think they look pretty good. And I feel like the same
Hmm
way. I feel the same way with the 14s. Although I do like the 14s just in general, but when I saw that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. The 14s as
Yeah,
golf
yeah,
shoes makes
exactly.
sense.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
So
exactly it.
and it just opens my mind to the possibilities of like what else could because we always focus on the playing days Jordans for golf shoes. And now that we're getting to the 14s, I feel like there's possibilities for the non-playing days Jordans to maybe get their shine at some point. And I wonder if like as much as people don't like the 15s, there are people who do swear by them, but I wonder if the 15s like what would that look like as a golf shoe? What would the 16s look like as a golf shoe? Like it kind of opens my mind to like, oh, that's possible. And did you talk to Gentry? Is that why you're smiling? Is like because you talked to Gentry about this? You're like, yeah, we got these things coming down the pipeline.
I cannot confirm or deny what you are saying.
Okay. I know what that means, but okay, go ahead.
Um, I don't know what you're talking about. I did talk to Gentry though. He was there. Just as nice as he always is. Such a
Oh
cool
yeah,
guy.
super cool
He
guy.
really understands the golf space and understands where Jordan can go with it, which is really cool to hear that perspective from him. And especially as someone that has been at the brand so long, you often find when people have been at the brand for a long, long time, they kind of get stuck in their ways and they're not really looking up or thinking about the next thing.
Yeah.
And Gentry feels like he's thinking about the next thing and looking for how the next thing can happen with Jordan Brand. And
Hmm.
I think golf is the lens that they're really going to make that happen through. So it's pretty exciting. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. He gets it. He gets it. So,
Yeah.
but he is thinking beyond the 14 up to the 14. I guess I can say that without getting myself in trouble.
Yeah. No. When I always every time I've always spoken to somebody, interviews or whatever, and they say they can't confirm or deny, I just take that with a wink and nod, like, okay, all right, cool, no problem.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand what's going on here, and prying, depending on the situation, I either continue to pry into what that means or I don't. And I know this one's like, okay, I get it, I get it. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, shout out to Gentry Humphrey. I owe a lot. I actually owe a lot to him, like secret, like, well, maybe not secretly, but like he has played an integral part in my like sneaker journalism media career. He has every time I see him, I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you, sir, for basically putting me in a position to be hired by different places and all that stuff. But yeah, no, shout out to Gen 3. But yeah, no, it seems like it's promising, like what Jordan Brand has, Jordan Golf, I guess, has up in store in terms of like
Yeah.
even the apparel side. Like it seems like they're kind of leaning towards, because I do remember when Jordan Brand used to do golf, it was definitely more like traditional. I think I even had like Jordan golf shoes, the original ones from like like I think I saw them at Ross or something. I just bought them. I was like, oh cool, let me just go buy these Jordan golf shoes that
Nice.
look like your
Nice.
traditional Jordan golf shoes that I just have the Jumpman on it. And so
Yeah.
it's I'm glad to see that they're tilting towards like more modern, more streetwear, like kind of like that kind of side, instead of like going back to like the
Yeah.
traditional where like you got like the Vesta Argyle, all that look. So I'm glad that they're going in a more modern direction. So good
Yeah.
on Jordan
I
Golf.
think they are going to mix some of that stuff in still because
You have to
that's
appeal to
what.
like, yeah.
Yeah, you have to appeal to that golfer, but I also kind of feel like MJ is that golfer in a sense. It's not. MJ is still that. He's not a country club golfer, but I still feel like he adheres loosely to that like kind of country club standard when it comes to the golf course a little bit. Like that's still his angle. Um, not, I mean, I guess I can say that because like obviously we've seen him playing in like t-shirts and shorts and like bucket hats and stuff like that. There's footage of him in dressed like that. So maybe
But
he's not
that
totally.
fits into like more the traditional kind of side though. Like if you were to look at like MJ's golf fits through the years, they're just baggier than your well, they kind of there's like a certain like 2000 early 2000s kind of fit to it where like everything's kind of well everything's baggy, bigger than than the typical size, like what
Yeah,
people would wear nowadays. I feel like that's his that's his style. And I gotta ask though, like was there like those kinds of pieces there, like pants that are like baggier, a little looser fitting? Same thing with like the apparel and all that stuff, where there's like a little larger sizes and everything.
yeah. They got a little bit of that stuff. I think a little of that stuff is coming. It's just bigger. Like the stuff that they offered in the apparel is bigger
Uh-huh.
than your normal gear. It's cut a little wider, but it's not like the Jordan jeans kind of wide, but
Oh, okay.
it's a nice in between space. But I
Is
know
it
they
like
are
Tiger's pants
pushing
from the 2000s, that kind of
not
size,
even
like
not
like
even that big.
oh, okay, okay.
It's more like golf has a very athletic look to it now, especially like on tour. Players have a
Yeah,
very like yeah. So it's loosening up. It's still like athletic fabrics and stuff like that,
uh-huh,
but they're
uh-huh.
widening up the feel and the fit a little bit. Some things are a little bit boxier, not like
Right.
massively boxier, but just a little bit boxier. And so that I think it's going to translate well for the course, I believe.
I guess what I'm asking is that when a Jordan Golf athlete eventually like, makes their way on the tour, are the commentators, are the people in the social media going to have like an Isaiah Thomas style meltdown and like, cry about like what they're wearing? God, did you see that whole thing with Isaiah when he saw LeBron like practicing with his shirt off? Like he just had like he like crashed out, and it was like, this
Oh
is a
no, I didn't
disgrace
see
to me.
that.
Something about like, yeah, some like Isaiah Thomas, like I guess it was like an NBA TV thing, and Isaiah saw LeBron practicing before the game without his shirt and everything, and he said that was kind of, I don't know, embarrassing, or we're better than that as a league. We need to present ourselves as blah blah blah. And I'm like, Zeke, he's no disrespect, you're one of the greatest players of all time. You're one of my dad's favorite players of all time. Who cares? Is LeBron's
Yeah,
practicing? It's way before the game, and also who cares? It's before. Yeah, I don't. I never. Anyways, but my thing was like, are we gonna have like when people step onto the course with this Jordan brand, Jordan Golf? Sorry, I keep I'm gonna mess that up for a while. Jordan Golf apparel, are they people gonna have similar style meltdowns of like, it's too baggy, it's too street, it's too whatever? Like, what do you think is gonna be the
No,
reaction
I
to
don't
that?
think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be
Is that a
that bad.
Malbon situation? It's not gonna be like a Malbon golf
No, no,
situation.
no,
Okay.
no, no, no. It's not. It's definitely not. It's not at Malbon levels yet.
Yeah.
They haven't.
Yeah.
I think it could get. I think it could get there, which would be great. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think they haven't pushed far enough yet. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're just kind of dipping their toe in the water of let's see how people respond to this kind of thing.
Okay,
Yeah, but
so
they
let's
haven't.
reckless yeah, so let's recklessly speculate. What do you think is the not apparel, not apparel, because we know what kind of apparel could kind of get set people off, like golf people off. What's the shoe that you think Jordan Golf could release that would get people in a Jason Day Malbon kind of like crash out frenzy? Like, what do you think would be the Air Jordan that they could release from any era, from anything? Like, what do you think? Do you think it would be like the 28 with the shroud, not like the SE or anything like that, but like, what do you think the Jordan Golf shoe that would like really from
Oh
post
God,
Jordan
that's
playing
a.
days? I
Um.
think. I think the 2000, which there was like one particular one. Was it the one that was
Oh, the
modular? The one
2010
that.
with the hole. The 2010 from that Wade was with the holes
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um.
Oh, we should do a Photoshop and just put golf spikes on it and just
The 15
the 15. Oh, I
because
think
of
the 15 would actually, yeah,
the
I
little
don't know.
nose thing or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. But
Um.
God, but like, what would be the golf shoe that would kind of really set golf Twitter afire? Because
The 20.
it's not made for golf, the 20. Oh, with the strap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The disconnected strap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, I'm a fan of that, but I also understand why people do not like that shoe. But yeah, I think, yeah, no, you're right. That would really,
But you're right about the was it the 28 or the 20? The 28 is the
the one with
tight
the
one or
shroud,
yeah.
the shroud,
Yeah, the
the one with the
28
zip
would
up
be
shroud.
the 28 would have them, especially if it's zipped up. Oh my God.
Yeah, and with those
What,
designs, like, I mean, if it
what
was
is
just
it? Football?
like, maybe with the all black one, people could like, you gotta pass it off as like, oh, it's made for rain. It's made for, it's waterproof
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But with the later designs, with like the green flames or the red and all, like the Chinese New Year
Yeah.
stuff, the stuff that Ray Allen was wearing, woo, that would make golf
Yeah,
old
their
head.
brains would melt. But it would be so dope to
Yes,
get
it would
off
be.
some like cool PE designs.
Yeah,
Get some cool PE
absolutely.
designs off. That'd be sick.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jordan Golf get on that, like get Keegan Bradley in any of those. Do they have anybody up for on deck for to actually be wearing these on tour? Do they have anybody like new on the pipeline?
No, that's what they're thinking about right now of who's
Oh, okay.
next for
Uh-huh.
them. They have like Harold Varner. They have Keegan, which Keegan
Yeah.
is just is footwear only. But Keegan's kind of like in his own space. He kind of just like makes his own
Yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
Jordan golf shoe kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't have anyone that's on deck yet to really like be the face of Jordan golf yet. I think they're looking at that and they're trying to find the right person for that, which
I
is
feel like,
hard because there's
yeah.
really no one.
Yeah. To who kind of
Like
fits the ethos.
who could it be?
Yeah. Who
Like
fits that
outside of
energy, right?
Tony, who's a Nike guy, who else
Yeah.
is there that could really like occupy that space?
Yeah, Tony would be good. Like if he made the lateral move over to Jordan Brand, I feel like that could be
Yeah,
something that could work. I always imagine like it could be Brooks, but with him being
yeah,
at Live, I feel like that kind of maybe prevents that from happening at the moment. Who knows what's going to happen with the future with that kind of stuff, but just someone who has that kind of out there, don't give a F kind of energy. Like
yep,
I feel like Brooks could be that guy. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen in the future? But yeah, no, Tony could be that guy. Brooks could be that guy. I feel like Rory's firmly established as like the Nike golf guy,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you
He's
can't
like the
really.
Nike golf guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But maybe we're just looking at it like from we need to like look towards the future, like someone who's a rising star. That
Yeah,
I don't
I
know
think
why
that's
when I
what
said that.
it's gonna have to be.
I don't know when I thought that. My first thought was J.R. Smith. I'm like, what are we? What J.R. Smith? He's not even a pro. But if we get JR out there, like in those creator classics and rocking like some Jordan P, like the 28s or something, I think that would be funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, so very productive gallivanting you had there, Jacques. Seems like you had a lot of fun.
yeah, it was a really nice trip, and we got to see a lot and got to really see what Jordan is doing. And I
Mhm.
think we've all been kind of waiting for Jordan Brand to get in the space in a
Yeah,
real way because
yeah.
every like Adidas is in the space and they're crushing it right now. Puma
Hmm.
is in the space and they're really going hard right now. So it'll be good to see Jordan Brand finally get into the space and to have an opportunity to kind of to be one of the best in the space. Like Adidas, I think Adidas right now has the crown in the golf space right now between the
Hmm.
influencers that they have, the players that they have. It feels like Adidas is the clear like winner
Right.
outside of like if you do a footwear on the footwear side, it's obviously probably FootJoy, but
Hmm.
outside of that, Adidas on a holistic sort of approach to things, they seem to have the crown, and it's going to take a lot for Jordan Brand to knock them off. They're going to need
Right.
resources to really step into the space and kind of make it their own. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I wanted to say like, oh, Jordan Brand has that cachet with the younger generation, but do they? It's not the same as it was. Like if we had talked about this 10 years ago, then yeah, the Jordan
Yeah,
Brand would have that cachet with the youth, who are, starting to play golf and, they want to get those retros on there. But it feels like in 2025, it's the energy is a lot different. The vibe is a lot different. So yeah, no,
yeah,
they're gonna have their work cut out for them. They need to like really invest in getting creators involved, getting, younger golfers
yeah,
involved. And yeah, no. So,
yeah.
and I want to see that. I want to see them try new stuff. They can't just, it's tough because when you see like, you just want to live off the cachet of Jordan Brand, but I actually do want to see
Right.
them give some effort into it beyond just the jump man, jump man, jump man, jump man.
Yes.
You want to see them actually like put some effort into trying new stuff, trying new things like the Jordan 20 golf. That would be something that
Yeah,
would get
be
somebody
wild.
fired.
Something wild. Yeah,
Someone would
we
get
were
fired for
talking
trying
about this.
that.
Yeah, we were
Oh, go
talking
ahead.
about this on the a couple of the people that were there on the trip talking about, the Jordan Brand pricing model, how Jordan has always kind of been considered premium over
Hmm.
Nike. It's like the premium offering. And it's like, does that cultural cachet still stand today where Jordan is still the premium product? And there were some arguments for and some arguments against it based on, the state of the industry right now. So it'll be
Right.
interesting to see how the larger community takes to that and if they feel the same way.
And it's reassuring to me that there are people who are talking and saying, no, it doesn't, because and it creates that conversation. Because if it's just everybody's like, no, Jordans are premium, they can never change, they can never be, whatever, that's tough. Then
Yeah.
they're just gonna be locked into a particular mindset in a space, and that means that we will never see change. But because
Hmm.
the way that you presented it is like there are people who are actually like, nah, we need to like come up with like new ideas, new whatever, new avenues. So that means that the possibility for changes is actually in the air. So I think that's a good thing. So yeah.
Yeah. I
Um.
think it's Jordan is in a position now, I think, where they are going to have to earn a little more of the cultural cachet that they have. A lot
Yeah.
for a long time, it was just kind of given to them by the
Mm-hmm.
community, and I think
Mm-hmm.
now they're in a position where they have to work harder for that respect and for that elevation, so to speak.
And I feel like the people who gave them that was us, our generation. We were the ones who kind of
Hmm.
gave the Jordan that cachet, gave him that importance because we grew up in it. But this younger generation coming up, they're like, "Who's that old guy?" Who's that? Like,
Yeah.
they're finally there's finally an age, an era of kids growing up who can say that, and it's not like totally weird because they're so far removed from anything, from anything
Hmm.
Jordan actually like playing or Jordan sneakers and all that stuff. So they're so far removed from that, though. It does give me hope that the people at Jordan Brand are like, we have to try. It's good
Yeah.
though, and I think that really does actually matter. Is like when brands have to try, we win as consumers. Maybe not on the price side, but you know,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Look, spoiler. We never win. We never, as consumers, price wise, we never win. It's just, that's
Right.
just
Yeah.
capitalism, baby. That's just how that works. But
Capitalism, baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
I mean, they
for
still yeah, I was gonna say they still obviously they still have a premium spot, and they're still
yeah,
they're still Jordan, and they still have all of
mhm,
those things going for them. That is undeniable, and it continues to be, and it's why we all love the brand the way we love the brand. But I do think they're in for a fight now. Like
yeah,
they can't just walk into the room and everybody starts to pay attention.
yeah,
Now they've got to kind of earn everyone's attention, which is probably the
right,
best way to say it. Yeah, I think they've got to earn everyone's attention now.
and that kind of quickly dovetails into like the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the Jordan 11 playoffs. Like we talked about it on Hard Pass.
Yeah.
There's an Air Jordan 11 low playoffs that's dropping, and could you imagine if this had dropped during the height of the blog era? It's a
Yeah, it would
shoe
have
that
been a different game.
Michael Jordan wore these in the finals. There would have been so many features. I could only imagine how much content when I was working at Kicks on Fire, I could have like ate off that for months.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
talking about it from every possible angle, right? But now it's another Jordan 11 low that's dropping in the spring, summertime. We're used to that now. And
Yep.
yeah, no, it's the old school colorway, the playoffs colorway, and it's actually the one that he wore in the finals, but it just doesn't matter as it used to. And
No, it doesn't, which is so
it's
strange.
what which is yes, exactly. It's strange, right? But at the same time, like I'm sure Jordan Brand feels it, but this should be another sign to them that they need to think outside the box. And they have been trying with like their commercials, the unbands and all that stuff, and the recent spots they've
Yeah.
been doing with football and
Yep.
everything. So on the marketing side, on the advertising side, I think they're stepping up and actually doing better lately. So now it's up to like the product guys to like figure out like how they need to make their product to make this relevant like it once did. So and I don't know how they're gonna do that because again, when if a kid if you saw an ad or if we hype it up on the social media like, oh, Michael Jordan wore these in the 1996 NBA Finals, there's a kid out there who's like, that was like 10 years before I was born or 20 or 15 years before I was born. Why would that even matter to me? Why would I care about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So that should be that's the challenge, and I'm game for that. I want to see what they want to do. I want to see how they want to try to do that. But at the same time, like, there's a part of me that's like, oh man, like, they don't care about that anymore. The stuff that I really cared about is just not as relevant as it used to be. So there's a little bit of that too. But at the same time,
Yeah.
yeah, man, yeah, like, I just want to see what Jordan Brand. They take it as a challenge. They take it personally. If Jordan Brand were to take
As
this
they took it in
yeah,
Jordan parlance, they took it personally. That's good.
they should take all of this personally, right? They should, like, Michael should be in these I can't believe I just said Michael, but MJ should be in
No,
these
I get it. I
meetings.
get it, Michael. Yeah, yeah. He's your boy. Just
I
expose.
knew,
Let
I
the truth
knew,
come out.
I knew that was gonna
Let the
happen.
truth come out.
But he should- well, I'm not calling it black hat or anything like that. I might get punched in the face.
Let the truth out. That you and Michael, you
Oh,
and Jordan are boys. You have a
oh God,
relationship with him, and
I've never
you're
even.
able to call him Michael. Yeah, Michael and I. Go ahead.
Anyways, I'm just,
Let us know.
but he should be in these meetings and being like throwing tables and like just being like, we need to come up with some bleeping like
Throw it.
plans, something like he should show that same fire, right? Like, and I know it's hard because he's way past like his playing days and he has other interests. Like you were talking about how Grove 23 was so feels a little detached from like the Nike Jordan brand of everything. I kind
Yeah,
of feel
for
like that's the
sure.
same way with his NASCAR stuff, right? Although you see the Jumpman on there, because
Yeah.
2311 Racing, there's a bit of a detachment there too. Although with that one, you do see the Jumpman prominently plastered on the cars every once in a while. But
Yeah,
and he also has his like fishing. The man's got a lot of interests, is basically what I'm saying.
he
So I
does. He's
wonder, I
interested in a lot of
wonder,
things.
and I wonder how much he's still involved. Like he's involved, but he's not like it probably isn't the same as it was when he was in his playing days, obviously. So I wonder if someone can get to him and say, "Hey, man, like you just don't you and your sneakers just don't matter as they used to," and someone needs to just come up, like take it, tell him that, just basically come up to him and take it as a challenge, just to like kind of poke the bear a little bit and be like, "Hey, Mike,
Yeah,
your stuff ain't bleep anymore. Like no one cares anymore. No one under the age of like it's just you and the seniors now. Like those are the only ones who care about your Jordans anymore." And he should be like, "Oh yeah, yeah," and then just do that. I took that personally, kind of.
I like that. Take it personally. That's
Yeah,
the new mantra for Jordan. Take
if
it.
anybody
How do
is
we get MJ
watching.
to take it personally?
Yeah, no, like somebody should relay that message. Anybody watching and listening to this who has like some sort of like access to Michael Jordan, just go up to him and tell him, "Yeah, your Jordans ain't
That's
blue
you, right?
anymore." No,
That's you, right? You
no,
have access, right?
no, absolutely not. Nope, 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 nope.
Huh?
No,
You sure
no,
about that?
no.
Okay.
I
All right.
don't know what you're talking about, man.
Well, yeah, we got you. Okay. Sure, sure. You don't have access, Juan. Okay.
Well, anyways, yeah, no, someone reach out to MJ and like just talk that smack to him and see how he reacts. And if he doesn't, that's fine. But I just kind of want to see it.
Just see him take it personal. We get it.
Yeah,
We
see him
get it.
take it. Yes, see him take it personal. Anyways, one more thing before we go. There are these leaks of the Nike Sabrina 3 and the Adidas
Uh-huh.
82 that have been circulating on the internets. And we also talked about it on Hard Pass. And we don't want to give like I don't want to give my thoughts about it because it's they're not like super clear images or anything like that. And I guess one of for the AE2, I guess they're claiming that it was part of the photo shoot. So I'm guessing that's actually the official AE2. But
Hmm.
for everybody who's giving out their takes, everybody who wants to have like a say, or whether this is better than the AE1, or this is better than the Sabrina 2, or this is like it's basically the Kobe 11s all over again. I just say we got to calm down, man. Like we just need to pump the brakes with that stuff. We don't know if these are the official shoes, and we also don't know if there's going to be tweaks made to the final product, regardless of whether they're part of the photo shoots or not. Anything can change. So, it's just more like cautious. Like we should all just approach these things cautiously. Like we should
Yeah.
know better by now, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and that should be a warning for all early leaks.
Yeah.
Take everything with a grain of salt until you see official images or you get them in your hand yourself. Like everyone's going to have their opinions. Most opinions change once they get them in hand.
Oh, they're
So
growing on me.
again, yeah, again, take everything with a grain of salt. And it's not that that doesn't happen. It happens. It's happened. It's happened to me before, where I was like, I saw pictures and I was like, ah, nah. But then I saw them in hand and I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, kinda, yeah. Or it's been the opposite, where I was like, oh, these look super dope, and then I get them in hand and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. So it happens. It happens both ways, and you're better off just giving yourself the grace and the internet some grace and not trying to be the first one. Like, oh, I can say these are great first. Like I was on these first, or I knew these were terrible. That, like that doesn't matter, and that's just more of like childhood trauma coming up that you probably need to resolve.
Childhood
It's
trauma.
a deeper. That's a deeper conversation that this podcast is not prepared to get into. We don't have the licenses
We are not medical professionals.
or the knowledge. We are not medical professionals, but it sounds like some childhood trauma of you wanting to be first and getting attention. So I'd talk to somebody about that if I were you.
The thing I did want to talk about, though, when it comes to Sabrina and also Anthony Edwards, is they do have these eagerly anticipated follow-ups to, I would say, sneakers that ended up being quite popular. Sabrina 2 was quite
Yeah,
popular. And then, Anthony Edwards, the AE1, obviously took over, the basketball sneaker world in a way that we haven't seen in quite some time.
quite some time for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, What do you think though is it gonna what do you think is it gonna take for Adidas and Anthony Edwards to kind of maintain their spot though? Because they're on top. And do you think it's just having a dope shoe, or what else do you think they need to do moving forward that can kind of elevate them, like, take them to even greater heights? Because, like I said, with AE1 did a lot for Anthony Edwards, did a lot for Adidas basketball. But do you think just having a dope shoe now, a dope follow up, is enough? Like, what else could they do beyond just having a great follow up?
Yeah, I don't envy the position that Adidas and Anthony Edwards are in with
Yeah,
his next signature shoe because the first shoe did so well and it was so
yeah,
well received by the community. It makes it a lot more challenging to follow that up. It's like an artist coming out of the gate and their album just exploding. Like
hmm,
that is just it just puts you in a very tough and very challenging position for your sophomore album, or in his case, your sophomore shoe. But
yeah,
as we've seen, there are artists that get over that, or there are artists that come through and they still shine. And it's just a matter I think it's a mix of all of those things just being right. A shoe, it doesn't have to be like the greatest shoe, but it has to be a really good shoe, I think.
yeah,
I think the marketing run that they're on is going to have to continue. And I think Anthony Edwards is going to have to play and continue to get better
right,
or go further in the playoffs or their team has to do better like that. Everyone has to, I guess in the sense of what I'm trying to say is everyone needs to show growth from the Adidas
right,
side, the design side, the marketing side, the player side, and the team side. As long as everyone is showing growth, I think that's enough to keep that energy going. It's when one of those pieces falls apart that
yeah.
we see the biggest challenges and the issues and why the sophomore albums just or sophomore sneakers in this case don't live up to expectation.
Right. Now for Sabrina, she's coming into a new market. I mean, well, different space now, because there was a time where she was the only, well, maybe she
Mhm.
wasn't the only, but because, there was
She
Elena
wasn't the
Della
only
Dons,
one,
but it
but
wasn't.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. In terms of Nike, there was also Elena Della Dons, but that wasn't as widely, marketed as anything as the
celebrated and
Sabrina's.
marketed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But now Asia Wilson's shoe is on the way, and the world is waiting for Caitlin Clark's signature shoe. And Paige Becker's
yeah,
got a question about when her signature shoe is, on the way.
yep,
So
yep.
Sabrina, she had a couple year head start, but now she's heading into a space where now she has competition within her own brand. And
Hmm.
I wonder how that's gonna translate, because it's still a growing, like, the WNBA, like the women's signature shoe that everybody wears, doesn't matter if it's men or women or whatever, it's growing. But do you think
Yeah.
there might be some segmentation, because, like, there's a lot of excitement for the A1. I feel like
Yes.
for people who have been excited about the AE1, that was cool and everything, but like for the Nike A1, I feel like there's quite a bit of energy for it. I don't know how it's gonna translate eventually, like, to actual shoe sales and everything, but I feel like I feel like it's gonna start out hot out the gate.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah. Yeah.
wonder how that's gonna work for, like, Sabrina, and eventually, like, does it become like crowded all of a sudden, instead of, like,
I
having just
don't.
that
I don't
one?
know.
What do you
I don't think
think?
it's
Like,
crowded because I mean
yeah.
Nike has LeBron, they have KD, they have Giannis, they have Ja. So I mean I don't think it's any different for the
And we
women. I
can't even
think
separate them.
so.
Yeah, I don't need, we can't even separate them anymore. Like, these are all just the same products now. So,
Yeah, and so I mean I guess in that regard, if it's I think it's less on the competition among the women and more of just competition of
yeah.
everybody now. Like
Mm-hmm,
she's going
mm-hmm.
up against LeBron, Ja, KD, Giannis. So there's a different space she has to occupy, but she'll have the benefit of being a woman and the audience that loves women's basketball that doesn't necessarily want to wear a man's shoe. They can wear a woman's shoe. So
Mm-hmm.
this just opens up the options for them. When Asia's shoe comes and Caitlin's shoe eventually come, and then Paige, I imagine Paige would get a shoe. I don't, I can't.
If she performs well, I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon. I feel like she's more of a few more years. let's see what happens,
Yeah.
like, on the court and everything.
It'll
Like
it'll
Caitlin
probably be like
Clark's
an
is even,
Asia situation. It'll
yeah,
probably be an
Caitlin's
Asia
inevitable.
situation where it comes
So
down the line. Yeah.
yeah, like we're looking at this time next year. There's going to be a Sabrina 4, an A2, which is a funny way to think. Oh no, so we're actually going A1, A2, A2. Okay, but
Yeah.
and then whatever Caitlin Clark shoe is going to be, it's either going to be the first or the second by this time next year. And I wonder how they're gonna, position that. I am curious about like how Nike is gonna position it and how like it's gonna be positioned alongside, the men's signature shoes. Like
The men's
the way I look
signature
at it,
shoes. Yeah.
yeah, the way I look at it is like when I look at like how things are positioned, I look at it from the perspective of when I go to the Grove, not the 23 one, the one in LA, the Nike store there. And what is what's the featured shoe downstairs? Like, when you first walk into the Grove, the
Yeah.
Nike Grove, whenever the new LeBron comes out, it's always prominently featured, obviously, because LeBron's here in LA. But there was a time where the Sabrina 2 was, had like space, like how, like that whole area to the left when you first walk into the Grove. It's like this huge, like
Hmm.
display area where gear and sneakers are featured. And Sabrina was prominently featured there. Does Asia Wilson also get that type of treatment when her shoe comes out? Will Caitlin, oh,
I
I'm
think
guessing
so. I think
Caitlin
so.
Clark's will definitely be featured in that spot. So, but you don't see KD's on there. You don't see Jaws. You don't see but that's what I'm getting at is like how, like what the hierarchy is going to look like once everybody's sneaker signature shoe is out. I would just wonder what
Yeah.
that hierarchy is going to look like. So that's what I'm basically curious about.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that hierarchy looks like, but I do think that they're going to be giving Sabrina and Asia more energy than some of the other signature shoes. So
Yeah.
I think outside of LeBron, who always seems, always gets the big push, I think we'll be seeing Sabrina and Asia's shoes getting the big push as well.
Anyways, that was episode 33 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host Juan
Woo-hoo!
Martinez and
Yeah,
Jacques.
I am Jacques Slade. Thank you guys for listening. As always, we just want to say we appreciate you guys taking the time to tune in and to listen to the show. Juan and I work hard on putting the show together, and it really makes us feel great when you guys tune in and listen and leave comments and all of those good things. So, if you've been listening for a while and you haven't said anything, feel free to shoot us a note. Warms our little hearts over here and keeps us motivated for creating the show. So, thank you guys. I think that's it, right? We can get out of here.
Oh no, do the whole plugs thing. Like, comment, subscribe, and all
Oh,
that good
yes.
stuff. Leave the ratings. 5 stars preferably. And actually that's the only thing we'll accept really, to be quite honest, because anything less is
True.
just
True.
we just man, that's just why. Why even bother? Why even bother if you're gonna do like 4 or 3? Just five. Five is what
Yeah.
we ask, and 5 is all we really expect. So yeah, no, definitely do that. If you have any questions, concerns, or complaints, I definitely ignored the complaints part. Send it over to the email. Send it to the mailbag. It is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. Again, that is too hard to pass podcast at gmail.com. That is the number 2.
Number two. Number 2.
Yes, so greatly appreciate you guys, and we will be back next week.